What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime, the most wonderful podcast of your day. And we are back with another one. It is dangerous to go alone. So I choose you guys. And Kirby says, hi. But Ichigo says, all of that good stuff, because y'all know how happy I am that Bleach is back. I will be discussing that next week with Just Insane, because we'll be discussing episode 1 and 2. But today, my friends, oh man, we're going back to Teach Me Senpai, of course. It is another episode of Teach Me Senpai, and you know what that means. The one, the only, my sister from over at BibleStudyGirl.com, the one, the only Bible Study Girl. Welcome back.
Hello. Is that my real hello?
No, it was really
No,
quick.
I know it's not. I'm out of practice, because that's not how I typically say hello, and it took me forever to perfect it, to be on a podcast. But hey, y'all, hey, thanks for having me.
But yes, we are back. We're continuing our watch of the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, and this is episode 2, which we are going to have a lot of fun. I know this was a really good episode. Rewatching it, good God, I was way more emotional than I expected to be, but that's because of some other anime that I was watching, which we will discuss at some point.
Fantastic.
But, so first impressions, BSG.
First impressions of this episode, it gave me a deeper look. Some of the questions I asked you episode 1, they were definitely answered in episode 2, and I don't know where you want me to
Just go into it.
I would say that I left episode 1 kind of feeling like the boss of the gang wasn't really empathetic, kind of was cold, a businessman about mob business. And episode 2 let me know, no, he's a person with real feelings. And it did get me in the heart muscle. It did.
So I'll give you guys a basic rundown of the episode, just a small basic rundown, mostly because I want to just talk about what I'm realizing more with this series is I want to talk about your experience, learning about different characters and things of that nature. And we're not here to give you guys a recap, at least not yet. So I'm just going to give you the synopsis. So in this episode, Yaika and Kirishima are... Basically, you get the background story of where Yaika's mother is and why she has been absent, or at least you get a little bit of the kind of the groundwork for it. You find out that she's basically comatose and has been so, I think, for at least a couple years. Because I think because Yaika is...
Well, he said that he stopped taking her when she was about 3. So I think it's been more than a couple of... How old is she now? It's been more than a couple of years.
I think she's 6. She's either 6 or 7, if I remember correctly. So it's been more than a couple years. And this episode just deals with the emotional aspects of what that does to Yaika, what that does to the boss, why Kirishima kind of is the way he is, even if he's not fully realizing it. But he just does this. He's just good at his job. And then the B story is dealing with a group of or 2 individuals who are impersonating Kirishima and Sakuragi. And
hilarious.
They have to go handle up on these people. And so these are the stories and things that are going on. And now we're just going to go through kind of just parts of the episode that really spoke to you or any questions that you have about it.
Okay, so the firework festival that they took the girl to, what's her name again?
Yaika.
Is that something is that like the state fair for us, or
Yes.
like a state fair for us? And so,
Yes.
because I know she said she wanted to go back every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's like,
Festival fair culture is a big, huge kind of thing up there, or there, and kind of around the world. But it's really huge in anime. So you're always gonna have a fireworks festival, where you'll wear a traditional kimono, um, and things of that nature to the fair. Which is why I think in one of the like commercials they had Yaka in her little kimono thing, even though she wasn't wearing one
yeah, they
there,
did.
because of that. And so you'll see a lot of these festivals in school animes. You'll see a lot of, like, you see this in so much because it's like, let's go get takoyaki, let's go catch goldfish, the Target game, so many different things, and it's always used as like this really cool moment where they have to see the fireworks from a really nice place. So very reminiscent of July 4th, but just kind of like, it's kind of like July 4th and the fair mixed together, because there's always like a fireworks festival. So yes.
Okay, so this is like not specific to this anime, but just anime in general and like your personal preferences. I was at our cousin's house and they were watching anime because they love anime.
You know what
But
they
they
were
were
watching?
watching, huh?
I was saying, do you know what they were watching?
Have no clue. Sweet Baby knew what it was, but I don't know. So they were watching anime, but they were watching it in English, and I was like, "Oh, you're not a purist, huh? You tend to feel like your personal preference is watching it in Japanese with subtitles." No, I didn't have to watch it because I could hear it because it was dubbed over in English.
Even though I grew up on dubbed, because obviously, how would I have been able to listen to anime back in the day unless I spoke it? But dubbed, I think in my era, which was Toonami and things that was on Cartoon Network, which is where they were showing a lot of animes, the voice actors embodied those characters, and that was my first time kind of seeing that. So, or it was my first time. Then once I started watching online, like I'm used to watching subbed. I'm used to hearing what the creator intended. It's kind of like a secondhand shop. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like going into a Mexican restaurant, but it's all white people in the back that are clearly European or Danish.
Now, I will tell you, I started watching something on Netflix, and I think the language of origin of the show maybe is German or something. And I was like, this is not, I don't think this is hitting the same as if I could hear, you know what I'm saying? Because there is a difference. There is a difference. So I was just wondering, what, I know your personal preference, but just like, is that like, does that mean you're an anime purist? Like, do you look down on those that
I used to be that guy. I'm not gonna front. I did used to be that guy. But honestly, I just stopped caring because it is for your personal preference. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of why dubbed is watch with my Gote 3 member Devin is because, like, you want to be able to hear. You want to be able to do other stuff. Like, a lot of times you don't have to sit.
Yeah, you put him on Front Street. I wasn't even gonna say his name, but it was him.
No, it was him. I know who it was. It's my Gote 3 member, man. Much love, much love to you. He will do stuff every now and again, but I know why. He's expressed to me, and this is an expression you get from a lot of other people. It's just like, bro, I don't have time to sit. It's just so. I'll explain. Perfect time for an example. So, in an example, in the English dub of Bleach, this is the guy says he's like Bankai, which is like a power up thing in Bleach or whatever, right? That's how he says it. He's like Bankai. He says it with force, but he'll be like Bankai. That's not this. Bankai. That is emphasizing a level of power, and if, like, without the pause, it just sounds stupid.
I understand. I get
it. Because we are, especially like for the intensity of those moments, you just feel it. And there's a certain disconnect if you're not getting people in the right place. Prime example, or second prime example, when you were watching Carolyn Tuesday and you watched the first
I sure watched it in English. I was like, oh yeah, this is what's up. And you were like, no.
No, but you had the questions, you were like, this person sounded like da 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 blah blah blah. And I was like, go listen. Put it. And I was like, that's why it's sounding weird to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then you went back and watched and you were like, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there definitely was a difference. I just wanted you to dive into your elitism.
It's not elitism. It's just, it's my job, so I have more time to watch and sub. I ain't got time to be dealing with whether or not you know what the character's intent were.
Gotcha.
Like, because it's like it's a third hand at that point. Like, you're basically going from creator of the manga or light novel, if there is a creator, to animators and voice actors who have done the role because they understand the role and this is their job, to, I think I'm going to try and give it this kind of life, and also translating and also like, you're saying stuff, but like it's kind of how we used to view those dubbed Japanese movies, the kung fu movies, I mean, and it's like, oh my God, they moved their mouth a million times and it don't sound like nothing. And then it comes out and you're like, why are you guys so off, right? So yeah, I see what you did there. You set me up, but you got me over here on a tangent, dang it, about
I wasn't trying to tangent too much, but I really was just like, wonder if your views have changed on that, buddy.
I'm forever subbed. Like, okay. Period for me.
So what were we talking about before this? Oh, the festival. You had just finished the festival thing for me. So can I just share that I love the festival and how gangster he was to make sure that Yaika got what she wanted. I thought that was cute because, we all know from like State Fair, the games are not rigged for you to win. No. They're not. Like, so if you do win, it's because they wanted you to, So I thought that was,
or you are just extremely skilled at certain things. Like those basketball ones used to be the frustrating bane of my existence because the goals are bent in a certain way to where it doesn't look like it's bent to you. But so it's not just shooting, because if you come out there and you can shoot, you finna clean them out.
Right.
And that's, like with all of the games, it plays with your perception and everything else. So it's just like, and the funny thing that they were also doing with Sakuragi was basically showing you, like, he's a member of the Yakuza. And if they had to use guns or anything of that nature, they not out here missing.
Right.
Like, and so it was showing like a certain level of skill in terms of what they have. And it's just kind of like, now I know he can do this. And I think that was, Kirishima's like quick little intel on what's going on here.
Right. I also love, I think you called it the B plot, the people that were impersonating them and they were impersonating them close to the hospital. The boss wanted to go see the wife, but he's like, hey, we're getting a bad rep around the hospital area because somebody said y'all two fools are over there wrecking shop. And I thought that was the most hilarious sub story because they show these two guys that are just like being real jerks. Like, really, there's no other way to describe it. Like, they're being very like macho, all powerful, all knowing, like, bring me the wings, Lucille, and don't forget the beer, being extremely rude and domineering takes a lot of guts. I'll say. I wanted to say something else. It takes a lot of guts.
Well, you can on this podcast. I don't know why you didn't say it.
Takes a lot of guts to do that. I would not want to impersonate somebody that was known. What's his name? He's not the butcher. He's the demon.
They call him the demon of the Sakuragi family.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to impersonate the demon. Like, you are playing with
him Sakuragi. That's not the boy name. Because now I'm just calling him the family name. I have to remember his name. I apologize. Because really it's just about Kirishima and Yaika. So I just everybody else just falls into the background for me.
Right.
But yeah, so the coolest part about that that whole setup is just how different he's already moving with Yaika's influence. And this was at the end of the episode when they finally catch him. But it's just so good because like normally he probably would have flatlined them.
Oh, 100%. Like that's the impression. I thought he flatlined everybody on the first episode and was surprised that they still had life and breath in their bodies. Like that's the impression I got from him. I do love to see how his relationship with Yaika is changing, how he interacts with other people. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a situation that's changing the way he interacts with her. It really is changing him internally.
Yeah. And it's instant. And I think that's something that shows the level of how good he is at his job. When he's ordered to do something, he does it to the extent that he needs to do it. He is always aware of Yaika's where she is, how she's going to view something, and their relationship deepened in such a way. Like he just knows what to say. And I think that that's one of the charming parts about this anime. But
I really like it. I think he's a good guy. At the core of him, I believe he's a good guy. And it's always nice to see trials or adversity bring out the softer side of somebody, and to see that people are multidimensional. We are not all just demons or whatever, we have different aspects, different characteristics that make us a whole person. So I do like that a lot about this anime, that we get to see a fully fleshed out individual. He's not just, a stereotype. This is what a demon is. He's a real person with real feelings, real emotions. And we kind of get to see him cycle through those things. And I'm just 2 episodes in. So I'm excited to see the character develop as the series goes along. Because like I said, just from the first episode to now, I don't see the boss as just a stereotype, just as a typical mob guy. I do see him as a man that has a wife that he loves, that had a tragic accident, and he's doing the best he can for his daughter. So like I said, I'm excited to see how the story develops, because this episode did pull on my little heartstrings. And I love how what's his name?
His second hand.
No. His name. Kirishima. The main guy.
Kirishima
and Yaika. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. I love how Kirishima stepped in when Yaika overheard their conversation about the boss going to see his wife, and about how it had been so long since Yaika had seen her mom, and he wanted to take her, but he wasn't sure, if it would be the right time for her to go. Like I said, because she was falling apart anytime that she went to see her mom, because her mom wouldn't wake up. And, she burst into the room while they're having this meeting about whether or not she should see her mom. And she's like, I don't want to see her. She runs off. And I love how Kirishima is able to get down on her level and really help her talk through her feelings. And why don't you want to go see your mom? And, it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to be sad.
Sugihara. There we go.
That's the name of the family?
No, Sukaragi is the name of the family, but Sugihara is the name of the guy that was also being impersonated.
Oh, okay. But to see how he was able to help her cycle through her emotions and what she was feeling, and get her to a place where she felt calm and ready to see her mom again. I thought that was sweet.
There was also, I don't know if you noticed, they gave a small, like, kind of foreshadowing glimpse of Kirishima's mom. Because he started to think about, because she had asked him a question about his mom, and she said something else about when she started to kind of like be, I love her, or I want her, to be happy. I said mean things. He had like this kind of flash of
I did
something
see
he was
that.
thinking about, and that was his mom. A flash back forward to her and her importance to him, which they'll explore a little bit later.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying this because I think that this kind of shows how slice of life is your bag. And it's kind of both our bag, just in the sense that we like character development. We like to see where people are going to go. And is this journey worth it? Like, are you becoming a better person? Are you striving to do something that no one has done before, while also stepping up against your fears, your angst, and everything else to become something better for somebody else, most importantly for yourself? But like, are you contributing something? So I think this was really, really good overall for like, me picking anime. What other things, do you have any other questions, or were there any other things that you saw from the episode that you enjoyed?
I love the fact that Yaiko wasn't able to go to sleep until he came back home from roughing these guys up that were impersonating them. I love that she is really caring about him. The care isn't just one way, it goes both ways. He really cares about her, and she is starting to trust him more versus first episode, and now she's starting to trust him more and to like lean into him more. So that is one thing that I really, really loved, and I thought it was super sweet. Like, she didn't want to
that is a big thing in anime as well. When people come home, it's like okaeri, oh, welcome home. Like, you say welcome home, like there's somebody there to say welcome home, invite you back.
Do you do that when your wife comes home?
I try to get better at it. Sometimes I'm like doing stuff because she gets in, and like, because you guys are women and you don't majority of the time go just outdoors. Like, it's not like when a guy get home, like I got my phone, my keys, my wallet in my pocket. Y'all got bags and things you gotta like put down, and you gotta kind of disrobe. My only time to like do that would be like when I would get home from work and I wanted to get out of like my dress shirt and stuff, because I just be like, ugh, this ain't it.
But that don't stop you saying welcome home. And also, when we get into Zoom meetings for podcasting and stuff, you should be like, welcome home. Say it again in Japanese.
I believe it's okaeri.
Okay. You should be like, okaeri. And I'll be like, what up, bro?
Oh my God, I'm not doing this with you.
But you are. Like, you literally are.
Yeah, so it is
Okaeri nasai.
Okaeri nasai. Yes, I was right.
Okaeri nasai.
But they normally just be like okaeri, which I think is like a shortened, like a familiar version of it. So I was right. I pulled that out the hat.
Look at you. See, I'll be asking questions. You be having answers. It's helping you think on the spot. Be quick on your feet.
I'm surprised you haven't said, like, because this was my favorite part of the episode. My favorite part of the episode is her, like, not believing that he's ever been told that he's nice.
I will be honest with you. I remember that, but I was like, maybe that was from the last episode, because I thought that it's not in my notes. I was like, so it must be from the last episode. But yeah,
no, that was this episode, and she was real mad. Like, you're lying. Like, you're incredibly nice. Like, you came to this, and like, for her that is nice because she doesn't get a whole lot of that because of the work and stuff.
Get a whole lot of that interaction. I think they did a beautiful job of painting that in the first episode, and it created for me a distance between her and her father, because it's like, well, who's really stepping in and stepping up for her? Her aunt is working, she lives with her aunt, and her aunt does the best that she can, but she definitely is lacking in that consistent interaction with people. So I like the way they're tying up those ends for me, those loose ends.
But yeah, so that was like really special to me, especially when she was like, when he asked like, well, what do they normally call you? Like, well, they normally call me a demon or they call me an Akuma. And she's like, what is that? So then he explains to her what that is. And she's like, nah, you're nice. I want to be nice like you. And he's like, and that's when he has that flashback, I think, and sees his mom. And he's like, you definitely want to be like me. Your dad would fall all the way over if you even turned into half of who, I am or who I used to be, kind of thing. And those moments are always cool to me because it reminds me of one of the blog posts that you guys can check out over at BibleStudyGirl.com, which is entitled "In the Whole World." And it reminds me of like how you see yourself is not often sometimes how somebody else might view you.
Right.
And there's just like, you got to give yourself the good positive vibes and remind yourself that you're, like we're not our worst days. We're
not.
Yeah.
We are, dang it. What is the word? It's escaping me, but we are, I think I said it a little bit earlier, but we're not all bad. We're not all good. We're pieces of all of that, and all of that makes us. So I'm excited to see him being fleshed out more as a character, and her as well.
Yeah. So that seems to be about good, unless you have any other questions about. I don't think there was too much like new anime stuff for you to pick through.
Okay, so I will ask this question and then we can move on or whatever. But so when the mom has her accident, is that is that the scene that because I assumed it was the mom, because he was like, the mama was, when they were putting the mom in the ambulance. So that was Yaika's mom, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I was wanting to make sure that wasn't like when you were talking about the foreshadowing. So he was actually the first on the scene when the mom had the accident.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know if they explicitly kind of explain just all of what happened in this season, in terms of like how they ended up at that point, but yeah, he was there.
Okay.
So.
And like, okay, I don't know. Well, but I also kind of, part of me is like, I don't want to ask questions because, I don't like spoilers. So that makes it hard for me because I know that what's going to happen and I don't want to be spoiled. So no other questions.
I mean, there's nothing that I think, there's nothing.
Well, you know how we watch TV. We don't watch TV how other people watch TV.
No,
so
true.
I could ask some questions that would spoil it for me. So
no, oh no, I'm trained on it. I'm trained on this end. Like I know how to like. I'm kind of able to maneuver. Like I feel like Prima Diva is the only one who gets it the worst because majority of the time, like I know how long it takes her to watch something, and then I just be like, "Can I just tell you?" Because this ain't like I need somebody to talk to, and I don't like. I'm not used to this. I'm used to being able to like discuss stuff, and I know I think I got like a couple shows in the tuck that I like was supposed to like catch up on, so we can like talk about and be able to dive into it. But yeah, this one it's just good. It's feel good, and I really love the development of Kirishima, of Yaika, of Sugihara, of everybody, because you're gonna see what family is, and you see kind of like we said earlier, and I'm gonna say it again because this is the theme of the episode. Your darkest times are not the only definition of you, just like the best times of your life are not the definition of you. The definition is made with all parts. So, any closing questions?
No closing questions, brother. Like I said, I don't want no spoilers. So,
was there anything stylistically that came up, or that like I said, the festival thing is a new kind of experience because we have not seen that, because all of what you've been watching currently is an isekai, and in that isekai, it's a period piece, so to speak. So you don't have a lot of the kind of, you don't have as many of the same things that they would kind of show. There you kind of have like the tropes of kind of country life or the class systems and things of that nature in regards to Ascendance of a Bookworm, which we are going to return to. We're just trying to give Prima Diva, who is currently who at this point, but no, I gotta remember which podcast I'm doing. Who is currently at this point in the middle of a play. She is in Murder on the Orient Express, and so she is busy rehearsing and getting ready for that. So we just had to pick up and do an anime that BSG, BibleStudyGirl, and I could do together without having to like hamstring the executive producer who be acting, y'all.
She's acting.
So anyway, if you guys want more amazing anime content that comes every week on Mondays currently, because I be watching Bleach. So I don't want to wait too much time or make people wait too much time in between episodes. So we're going to be releasing on Mondays for the time being. And eventually, I'm going to do more frequent releases or multiple releases in a week, which was always my goal. I just got to build out my the roster of people to talk to and things to talk about, because this podcast is for building that environment. So if you want to go make sure that you follow my socials, you can follow me at Icarus Gray on Twitter, Icarus_Gray on Instagram, Gray Area Anime 1 on Twitter, yeah, I believe. And then it's Gray Area Anime everywhere else. And until next time, a 1 and a 2 and peace.